So a few weeks back, Chris and I got a lead on an amazing 1954 Harley Davidson. Completely original 50th anniversary model. The timing wasn't really right, so Chris and I decided to pass on the bike. Turns out it's been a decision I've regretted ever since. So we decided to pass the lead off to a very good friend of ours, and he's coming here today to see if we can help him get the bike running. What he doesn't know is I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure the bike stays here at Wheels Through Time. The buyer, none other than Sean Kerr.
You ready to see this thing? I'm told it's original.
You can tell it's been sitting a long time. Does it kick over? Have you even tried to kick it over?
Haven't even tried.
Okay, let's hope it's not frozen. Let's unload it so we can get a closer look, man.
Cool, let's pull it out, put it on the table.
Awesome. You got brakes?
I do have brakes,
It is
actually.
mechanical brakes. Thank God everything we've worked on for the past 2 months has been hydraulic. Here, man. Fakey. All right. Whew.
It pushes nice.
Rolls good?
Yeah, oh yeah, real
Very
good.
nice, man. Good deal, all right. So, the goal today, we're gonna try and get this thing running. Sean said this is right out of the barn. Got the lead from our pal Joe Lingley, and I passed it to Sean. I'm already, after first glance, regretting the decision that I sent you this, because this is a bad bike, man. This is a great looking bike. Gosh, it's beautifully crusty.
Yeah.
It's like the right amount of crust and then just a little bit further, which is still the appropriate amount.
So, just to start off, this is a bike that you do not restore.
I wouldn't, and here's why.
Okay.
It's because it's the paint's only original once.
Right.
There's a lot of other things on this bike, and this is the thing about old bikes is, man, is you go 100 different directions and you ask 100 different people what they do and you get a lot of different answers. I would leave it just like it is, with the exception of wiping that dirt off the paint. You know, this here looks like that'd come off, you know? Yeah, that's gonna, oh God, see, it'll clean up really nice. Where do you start, where do you stop is a question, because, you know, spotlights, those will clean up okay. They look pretty nice.
What about like the wheels and all the what about
crash
the chrome? Could that be, does that be re-chromed, or you can't put new chrome on an old bike?
Well, and that's where you start to open up a can of worms. If you really want to take this bike and make a beautiful original paint example, well, then you're changing the oil tank, you're changing the exhaust pipes, you're changing the rims, wheels altogether. You're gonna find things that are not flaky chrome. You know, all these pieces are out there, but then you start to change what the bike actually is. And this thing has always been together. Right. It had a great story. Right. And I can already kind of tell you that I'm into it. So I wouldn't change a thing other than make it run.
That's exactly, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing.
And you still have your paint depth gauge that later we can just verify, confirm whether this is original paint. Because if it's not original paint, it's kind of a, it changes.
Then you overpaid.
And then I overpaid.
And you overpaid, and then is it a perfect candidate for a restoration? Maybe. Whether it's gonna go or not is a big part of that. Because if it doesn't run, what are you saving? Right. You know, and it's got to come all apart. Right. There you go. So,
where do we start?
I would pull the plugs and lube the cylinders. If you haven't even kicked it, the first thing we need to do is check that toolbox for a Buc-ee's sandwich.
Buc-ee's. This is a 54.
Yep.
50th year anniversary edition. Harley Davidson did not start until 1903. In 54, did they think that they started in 1904?
Or did they start in 1904 and it wasn't until after 54 that they changed and said they started in 03?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a hotly debated thing about that.
Hotly debated.
Really?
There's actually a really good book about it you should read. It's called At the Creation. It's by a guy named Herb Wagner.
Okay. Did they forget to do an anniversary bike in 53? And they were like, no one will notice. Throw a badge on it, you know what I mean?
Put a badge on it. I don't know. It's a good question. That spins nice. That's often locked up. Throttle, spark advance. Spark advance moves real pretty, but who knows? Goals today is to get the thing fired up, running, riding, 50-year-old white walls, and you guys
100 miles an hour down the street.
We don't let friends run white walls. That wheels through time, but I'm not changing those tires. Man, it's gonna start right up.
So I'm looking at this bike and I see like 20 things and I'm like, there's no way it came from the factory with that thing on it.
Sure. What's the VIN number on that, Chris? What's the last four of the VIN number?
Let's see. 4590.
40. So it's the 3590 something bike produced. 1954 was the last year for the wishbone frame.
Okay.
And you see this is a straight leg frame. So that's a late 1954. They went back to the straight leg frame.
Okay.
Really cool, because most of the 54s you see, they still got the wishbone.
Stupid wishbone.
Neat stuff. Got the neck lock. So yeah, things that didn't come from the factory. The horn was factory. The air cleaner has this what's that, Cadillac?
Yeah, it looked like some type of Scottish thing.
Okay.
Does that mean anything? Is this valuable?
I don't think so.
Some guy, some Scottish guy, or...
It might have been more valuable without it on there, but it's got character. Accessory oil filter.
Oh, that's an oil filter.
That's an oil filter. Accessory cigarette lighter, which is pretty cool.
That.
You might be able to plug your phone into that if it'd charge on. You'd have to convert it to 12 volts probably.
That's so cool.
You know, blue grips, really pretty, nice factory mirrors, you know, all this stuff's accessory stuff. You know, this may or may not be Harley Davidson. I've got some stuff kind of like it over here in the package that this is like, that's superior.
That's your gingerbread shelf, right?
Gingerbread shelf. So that's...
What about this tape right here? This tape rub
That's probably there, so that doesn't rub. So
would that come factory like that?
Well, and the thing is, too, we can fix that. We've got the accessory foot shifter here. So this is a buddy seat peg. Yeah. So this is for your, that's for your passenger.
Oh, I thought that was for me.
No, so you got your extra seat, or springs, too. Believe it or not, that's a two-person seat. You're up here, and she gets all the rest of it. So just pretty much
back
like
in the day, women had wider.
Dude, it's loaded with great accessories like exhaust pipe cover. Those things are like $200, man, for that crusty old little cover. Wow. Awesome exhaust pipes. Yeah, which it makes me wonder if it's rotted out. No, see all the chrome's flaking off, but it's a solid can. I thought that from the pictures that you might have a bunch of holes in this, but the kick-up pipes, I love that look.
That's aftermarket too, and they're not even straight.
Probably superior. We'll straighten them out as best we can so that when you're standing in back, it looks real clean.
Now this guy,
cabbage cutter.
This is
that's an accessory. That's an accessory light bar. Like here, I got one over here somewhere. So this is, I don't know if it's superior. It's probably not a Harley Davidson piece, but it would have been the same thing. So all the extra bullet lights, and these are two different kinds of guide lights, saddlebags, genuine Harley. Check this out right here. There's your genuine Harley saddlebags.
Oh yeah. I have not opened up I have not looked in the bags.
No?
No. None of them. Bucky's.
Oh. It's Buckles.
Buckles.
Not Bucky's.
I should have put something in there. That would have been clever, but I don't know what that is.
It's a note. Matt Woxler. Did you write?
I did not do that. That must have been that guy who sold it to me. He knew that you would find it. He knew this would come to you. All right, let's see what's in this one.
Dang it. Oh, that's a mouse nest and a light bulb. Acorns. Dang, dude, we've had an acorn thing going on lately. Look at there. How about the toolbox?
Need a key?
I think it just opens. Oh. Chris has a key. Chris always has a key. You'll need tools. All right, we'll have to let that soak for a bit. Yeah, man, so many good accessories. Yeah, the front bumper accessory, mud flap, period accessory. Like I said, the heel toe shifter, that's pretty cool. I feel like this heel toe shifter actually there might be a casting number on it, but I feel like that came out in 55, but I might be wrong.
This is the deluxe. That's the name of the bike?
It'd be like we'd have to look in the book and look at start picking out our option packages between chrome crash guards, chrome exhaust, accessory oil filter. See, there are different packages throughout all this period of time where...
Were they making multiple different bikes at this point? Like,
they've got a baseline, just like now, kind of. They got a baseline model. More like automotive stuff now, where they have a baseline model. You got a Ford Ranger, you got a Ford Ranger
XLT,
LX, an XLT. Yeah, right. So same thing back in the day. They had your standard solo, sport solo, deluxe sport solo, police equipment group. So there's all these, looks like aluminum pans. All right, well,
we got oil in the cylinders?
Oil in the cylinders.
All right, so if the engine's locked up here, if you can't move that, we're in trouble.
It's moving.
Well, it's moving.
A little bit.
Yep, that was rear.
It's kind of...
Front. There you go.
Oh, yeah. And it's FL or FLH?
FL.
It's an FL, okay. Check the oil tank, Chris, and then we'll look at the inside of this carburetor, and I would imagine, see, God, I'm telling you, that's all really dried out. Inside of the gas tanks, Chris, you lost your flashlight?
Yeah. And the last bike we did, I have lost my my flashlight. I feel naked without it.
So the bike is obviously a really nice survivor. It's obviously been sitting for a really long time. It looks at the same time like whoever had the bike while they were using it, they were taking care of it. There was no major dents, dings. All the systems seem to be functional. The brakes work. It seems like the clutch works. It kicks over fine. Throttle, spark advance, it all spins. The carburetor at first glance, and I know you can't tell much, looks dry inside. Inside of the gas tanks, clean as clean can be, near zero rust, which is amazing. All things considered, man, I'm hoping it's gonna run as good as it looks. Come inside real quick and I'll show you what one should sound like.
Great idea.
Yeah. Okay, so closest thing I got up that alley is my 50. So man, and this one, I mean, original paint. I got 48, we got the 49. The 50 here's a real sweetie.
Ooh.
So this is actually Riviera blue. Okay, yeah. So we got battery. This is what it ought to sound like.
That's got the cabbage grate.
Front cabbage cutter. That's got a wheel disc up front, little earlier bags.
That's awesome.
All of these bikes of this era, if you ask me, they always look good. They always look the best, like accessorized and decked out, just like yours. It's got all the stuff.
Is that because, was this the beginning of the accessories, or the beginning of the aftermarket, like goofy stuff you can buy from the factory?
You know,
like fairly new.
Yeah, it's where aftermarket companies are really popping up. You know,
Okay.
So like this accessory bar here, the extra bag. Now Harley's offering tons of accessories, and all that expands quite a bit.
Yeah.
But on top of that, the aftermarket comes big in.
You got the same oil filter.
Same oil filter. Even I think the same routing, little earlier bags. It's got the single, this has single exhaust, so it's going to sound a little different.
You got the same ones that I got on mine.
Same pegs, yeah. So man, if yours runs as good as this one does, you got a winner.
Good.
Then on the other hand, we could have that motor apart on the bench and a million pieces.
It could cost a lot of money to get it, put it back together. Well, let's go see if
yeah,
mine can sound as good as that one.
All right. White walls too.
Yeah.
Don't you tell anybody.
Yeah.
All right.
You tell anybody.
You want me to pull the battery out of that pin head?
Let's pull a battery. Yeah, whatever you think, man. Yeah, gosh.
The seat?
It's beautiful.
Is that original?
Yeah, that's an original seat, probably original to this bike. God, and it's so nice. There's so much grime on it, and a lot of it will clean up, man. So as we're doing this, and if we are able to get this bike running, the whole time we're gonna get on this, do we clean this or do we leave it? Or do we clean it or do we leave it? Which ultimately is a judgment call. So you just gotta choose what you want to do.
Is the grime on the paint hurting the paint or protecting the paint?
In as dry as that is, I would get that off.
Okay. What product would you just...
this is about as good of a thing as we could use on that front fender. And look at how crusty that is. It looks like rust.
Yeah.
They say go inconspicuous spot, but it ain't my bike.
So you would clean it, just not...
Yeah,
like,
you don't wax it.
What about that grime? Keep that grime on there?
You know what, man?
Looks kind of cool.
It looks really good, man.
It's not hurting nothing. Same thing with the exhaust.
That exhaust is bad to the bone, man. Those kick up Superior. I think that's a Superior exhaust pipe. I freaking love those pipes. So as shabby as the chrome is, the odds of you finding two really nice chrome ones of those that match is probably pretty thin. I'll swap you a stock pipe for those.
No, I like this. I'm pretty excited about them.
Okay, man. Keep kicking that thing over one more time. Okay. Let me put my fingers over the holes here so we don't blow the stuff everywhere. But Glacier Blue. Glacier Blue. There's gonna be oil in the lower end. It's inevitable. Crustiness on the primary cover too.
Well, we were looking at that because there's two holes here. It's like it looks like there's water that's been dripping here and caused all this.
That's exactly.
Maybe a leaky roof or something like that. Because that is the worst part, isn't it?
That's the worst rust.
That's the worst rust on the bike, and that is gonna play a role. That's a bummer.
That bad exhaust pipe.
Yeah, it's never gonna run great with the hole way up at the top of the exhaust pipe. I might have a pipe though. Bill is getting really high.
We were all jazzed.
I want to still be your friend.
Now the clutch.
Sean noticed that it's hitting the spring, so we just need to adjust that bottom.
It's crazy. It rusted through right there when there's nothing. Everything else around it looks pretty solid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we can try and weld it up. If I don't have a pipe, we'll just patch it, and it'll run better.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Because you don't want to have a pipe with a hole in it. So, totally impressed though. Goodbye. Big mistake on my part. But what we do for our friends, what we do for our friends.
Yeah. I'll let you ride it sometime.
Okay. All right. So anyway, guys, awesome original example. Crusty as it is, this is the stuff we live for. Compression, spark, and fuel. In that order. If you don't have compression, there's no point in looking for spark. You got to get the compression. First thing we do, we know we have compression. Now we're going to get into putting a battery in, checking all the systems, seeing what works and what doesn't. Hope we don't need a carb rebuild. Stay tuned. Ought to be 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah, 45 minutes. Okay, guys, so this is a really, really nice bike, and the more I look it over, the more I'm kind of regretting this decision to pass this lead off. That being said, we're gonna have a good time working on it. I can kind of rub his shoulders a little bit, try and loosen him up, and see if we can keep this bike here at the museum. So this would be a perfect bike for Wheels Through Time. It just screams originality. It's got character dripping off of it left and right. The only place it would look better than it does right now is right inside the museum. Anything coming off there?
Oh, it's coming off.
Yeah?
It looks so good.
It glows, man. Look at that. And Joe said that, when we started talking.
So, despite all the rust in other places, the battery tray inside of the oil tank looks surprisingly good. A little bit of rust on the battery lid. So we've got this battery out of the Johnny Cash bike. We'll drop it in here, connect everything up. Like Matt said, compression, spark, fuel. So now the part is spark, and we'll see what happens with the electrical.
These plugs they're
champion.
They're actually pretty new plugs though, did he tell you how long he thought this bike was sitting?
He seemed to think, no, he didn't. He maybe did, I forgot. But I know he did. He started messing with it.
Okay.
So.
And then pumped the brakes.
Right.
See, and that's the thing about bikes like this, guys, is it's all owner preference. Some guys, I know my dad would have left this bike greasy and grimy. And yes, it would have continued to deteriorate some amount over time. but that was what he was into the most. I know other guys that the first thing they do would be replace all this flaking chrome, but keep as much as they could original, pull the fenders off, buff them, get them glowing and shining, and this bike has the potential to be a really, really nice original example with a few parts replaced. We're gonna fall somewhere in between that.
We have another set.
Another,
yeah, because these are the ones that come with it, and they're just
We're
too
gonna
big.
spray paint it with rhino lining.
Rhino, dude, get that wrinkle black. Please let the wiring be solid.
I'm good. 40%.
So it's a new coil, so that's promising, but well, it's a new coil. It's shiny. It's got these fiber insulators here. Looks like a V-twin coil, which they work just fine. Thing about an original coil is it's going to work, maybe.
Tire-wise, would you just keep the tires?
How much you going to ride it?
Probably daily.
How much you going to let me ride it?
Daily.
Daily.
This is a daily. This is my new daily rider.
You know what? If you're going to be out in the rain and stuff, I'd probably get some new tires. At the same time, if this is a 500-mile-a-year bike, I think those tires will be fine.
Just don't be hitting it hard in the corners.
Yeah, well, man,
don't
I'll
be dragging
tell you what,
no
dude,
knee.
I
Don't look that bad, to be honest.
oh yeah, looky there. We got dash lights.
We got dash lights?
Okay.
So these are both the same color? Like, that's how it comes?
Hey! Horn works.
Amazing.
Headlights?
I got 2 of the guide lights, no tail light.
No headlight. So all 3 of those lights are off up top. What else? None of our guide lights work.
These two.
Those guide lights work?
Hit your brake there, Sean. Yeah.
There we go. Now they're all working.
Yeah, they've
Now
got these 2 wired into the brake as well, so they come on when you hit the
They
brake.
come on when you hit the brake. So on?
Yeah.
Off.
And now does the brake, is the brake light changing?
Yep. It's very subtle, but it is
It's
changing.
really subtle.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah, battery lid.
Ooh, should we try the toolbox again?
Toolbox? Yeah, let's try it. You got that key?
Opening up the toolbox is like a buried treasure. You never know what's in there.
Oh,
could be
yeah.
gold, could be diamonds,
Could be
could be Bucky Sims.
this fool.
There's paper in there, but it looks old.
Oh, does it? Oh, wow. Registration?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. City of where? Department of Motor Vehicles. What do you got? 54 FL, 4593. That's the bike. So it is this VIN.
1963 registration.
John.
Where do you see that? Oh, 1963.
Yep.
Holy cow.
So, wow, man, if this thing's been sitting that long, since 63, so we've got electrics. Let's check points here. Let me see. That's nice stuff.
That's cool, right?
Put that in your filing cabinet.
He thinks I have a filing cabinet.
He's got... Holy cow, yeah, we got spark. Put a plug in there, and let's see if we got spark at the plugs.
Really cool.
Nice.
That's the rear.
Put in the saddlebag.
Beautiful.
Yep.
I can hear it from
Oh,
here,
yeah.
man.
It's
wow.
good spark on both.
Okay. This looks like a newer set of points. So while we're looking at last registration in 1963, those points are not from 1963. There's no way.
No, I think he's going to ask me to try to sell it for him for less than what I've into it. There's no chance.
All right. Do we rebuild the carburetor? As nice as everything else is, you kind of would hope that the carburetor is okay, but you know, an old cork float don't last. How's that side look?
Like brand new.
And the main nozzle moves. Well, you know, what first thing that happens when people leave fuel in the carburetor is that main nozzle sticks in place. When you can reach your finger and push the main nozzle down against the spring, it's generally a pretty good sign.
If we can get this thing running, is there any reason why this thing wouldn't drive?
Oh, yeah, if the clutch is stuck, pull that clutch in.
That's as much as I can get right there.
Yeah, so right now, the clutch is not freed up. So hopefully we got a quick solution for that rather than to have to go take the whole clutch apart. So should we just pour some gas in it and see if it goes? Let's do it. Let's do it. Sean, if you want to go over there, there's grab 3 quarts of that Valvoline below the coil, down low. To your left. Yep. I'm gonna pull a transmission drain plug out and see what we got on the transmission. So yeah, anytime you're running this thing too, man, straight 50 weight or 60 weight, it's all good, either one. That's what, ooh, that's milky. Yeah, okay. So let's drain the transmission.
Okay, Sean, here's your test of the day.
Test of the day.
Each person gets a quart with no funnel.
Oh, quart, no funnel, okay.
Okay, do it.
Whoa!
They don't know, but I've been training for this.
I've been training for this my whole life.
Two quarts is probably good to start with because we're going to change the oil.
Okay.
The tank holds about 3.5 quarts. Chris, you'll get your shot. I was going to say, we haven't even raised this thing up since we're draining the transmission. Just let that hang. We're going to be right back down in no time. It's draining now. Yeah, look at that.
There we go, there we go.
The good thing is it's a Harley-Davidson transmission, and they're darn near bulletproof as long as there's oil in them. So get the nastiness out. And you know what? Realistically, it might just be better for us to put a little bit of oil in it, get it fired up and running, warm that oil up, and then drain it.
Yeah, right.
Even though it's milky and got condensation in it.
Once that warms up with some new oil, it kind of mixes together.
That's the hope. Okay, let's do it. Bring her down, Cristo. I think we're gas and go, man. I really do.
Could it really be that easy?
Could it be that easy?
Put the gas right in the tank?
That's what we're hoping. So it never happens like this. The process, I know for you guys, has probably seemed really fast, and it has been. It's really rare to walk up to a bike that's been sitting as long as this one has, and for everything to kind of work so far, we feel like that's a good sign. We're gonna pour some gas in this thing and fire it up, then we're gonna try and make a deal. All right, you kicking?
Yeah.
Okay, so we know the pipe's gonna leak. We know it's gonna sound really flat on the rear cylinder, probably that front cylinder too, because
this is two separate fuel tanks?
Split tanks.
Connected to each other?
Connected to each other. So where the early bikes have a fuel shutoff on both tanks, when you activate the fuel shutoff over on the left side here, it operates both tanks.
This has like a transfer.
So
it's got a
there is a crossover line down below. I don't know that I put enough gas in that thing to get past the reserve. So yeah, we better get some more. So when you turn the fuel on, that's on, that's reserve. And it'll empty this tank entirely and all but about that much out of this tank, and then you pull it up and you've got that last bit.
Got it.
Yes, okay. All right, we got...
Should we check the oil filter? Make sure we're getting oil down out of the...
That's a good idea, Chris. Nice.
Got the headlamp.
Beautiful. We are gonna check this oil filter. Let me go ahead and pull this. And hopefully this isn't milky oil also. Oh, yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
That is good looking stuff.
Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that at all. I'm not even gonna pull that filter off, man. That's clean oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can drink that.
That's clean oil. Okay, I'm starting to think there's no way he didn't run this thing. Joe. Like, surely he ran this thing.
All right, so we're about ready to start this thing, but I need to know whether that's the original paint or if it was painted sometime recently. Or you still have the paint depth gauge?
Yeah, I do. There it is. So, yeah, and what you got is like, pick the cleanest spot. Pick that spot you shined up there. And you should be below, say, 5.
Yeah, way below 5.
Oh, heavy up there.
7.1. We might need to go look at one of your other ones.
Check these gas tanks. Those are thinner, I can tell.
5.83.
Yeah.
7.3. So check the other.
You want to check my 50?
Yeah.
Here, let's try this 48. 4.445. But it's also black, so we got to take that into account. See, there's a 6.
Nowadays in the factory, there's a machine painting these things. Like, so everything is uniform. Whereas back there, you got Joe on Thursday and Frank on Monday.
That's right.
And each one of them is going to have a heavier hand or a different spray, that they're going to be using when it comes to that. Because there's not going to be, there'll be some uniformity, but there's a lot of variation that can come into that.
I'd swear by that bike being original paint.
Yeah.
I'm certain of it. There's no doubt in my mind. You can see the rust that's come through on the paint and the way that some of those places are showing themselves. It's not been refinished. There's no doubt in my mind. Okay, I think we're ready.
So how many kicks?
How many kicks is the question?
Because these are Sean kicks and not Matt kicks. So is there a variation?
One kick.
Half kick.
Half kick. Oh,
really?
You can take that headlamp.
Thanks, man.
You put those above your glasses or below your glasses?
Put them above the glasses or below the glasses? Button on the side?
Right, this side.
Whoa, this is way bright,
dude. You can angle it and whatnot.
I'm thinking 3 kicks, Sean.
To start, I've never
started a panhead.
Started, seen, looked at, smelled a panhead.
It's gonna be. It smells good, doesn't it?
It does smell good.
It's really good. What you want to do is roll the spark advance all the way back. Choke.
Any prime kicks?
Yep. So your choke's on. We got the air filter off right now, so we can see if fuel's coming. Choke's on. Give it 3 good prime kicks or prime kicks until you've got fuel in the carburetor. 1, 2.
Okay.
You got anything
You got
yet?
fuel, maybe one more.
One more?
Yeah. Oh yeah, now it's pouring.
All right, so now we'll leave it on 1 choke, and then give it a go, man.
First kick. No throttle. A little bit.
We don't know yet. It's a good question. Hey, all right. That's kind of 1 kick. Give it 2 more prime kicks. All right, now.
Give me 1 second.
Kick it like you mean it.
No throttle?
But if it does that, it starts, be ready to roll on. Go ahead. It's as quiet as my 55, dude. The engine is quiet.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
Look at this.
That's great. Especially not having to touch that.
I've bought like 100 bikes over the last couple years, and none of them have run this good right off the bat.
I'm excited about that.
That's incredible.
When Matt looks like he's jealous that he didn't get the bike, that's when you know you got a good bike. That thing is cool.
I don't really know how to act right now. It runs a lot better than I thought it was going to run. Really, like amazing. Take it outside. You want to try it?
It won't go the whole way.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's so consistent. It does everything it's supposed to. So here, let's see if it works straight away. Pull the clutch in.
It's stuck.
It's stuck, but we might be able to put it into gear.
And just ride it.
And well, we'll pull the clutch in, see if it'll go into gear. If it doesn't go into gear, we'll roll you off or roll me off and we'll slide it into gear. Then pull the clutch in and try and grab the brakes and let the engine break the clutch free.
Oh, cool.
Rather than take it all apart. It could could just be a little glued together and just needs loosened. Cool. All right, let's pull this thing off. It's a nice bike. It's really not that nice of a bike.
All right. Matt, you do the honors, man.
Okay.
Take it for a spin. We can push our.
I sure will, man.
Put on your clear helmet.
Right?
The clutch on stick?
Clutch is free. Yeah, it's dragging me a little bit. But you can grab the brakes. If you can find neutral, it'll free up.
That is awesome.
You want to do a kickstart contest?
Yeah.
All right.
Get on your mark, get set, go.
Good. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 5 seconds. 14. 9. You sure that wasn't 2 minutes? 14?
No, listen, I'm very aware that now it's setting me up. Because he's about to do 60 somehow.
This is for pinks, right?
On your mark.
Stuff like this.
Get set, go. 1.
Oh, look, see, he's got
3. 4.
Oh. I was putting the thing up. Should let him go first.
6.
2.
7.
3.
9. 11. 12.
Time's up. You did pretty good.
15. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21.
Should have known. Should have known you can't beat Matt in any of these games.
24. 5 seconds. 5 and 6. All right, stop.
Tie. We're tied.
Oh, you get to go again now. So you're sure? Do you really love it, though?
I would consider entertaining, possibly, maybe hearing an offer.
What about some trades? You in for trading? Because I got this bike. Listen, it's 17 feet long.
It's a road dog. You know, okay. You know how when you're in high school or college and you don't have a girlfriend and there's no girls anywhere, and as soon as you get a girlfriend, they all start coming out of the woodwork, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe just kind of like, we'll leave this here for a little while. Maybe, hey, I got one like that. I want to sell it to you. Exact same thing, even better. You know what I mean? It might attract more bikes like this.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like how you think.
Yeah.
You know,
or if you want to come up with a good offer.
we're just going to have to keep dancing.
We'll keep on.
We'll just have to keep dancing around. And one of these days, I'll catch you at your weakest.
At a weak moment.
It runs so good. It runs every bit as good as my 55. Okay, guys, so every once in a while, you get lucky. So it turns out today was Sean's day. It wasn't mine, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop trying. Make sure you guys check out one of these 2 videos. Stay tuned. We'll see you next time around. Maybe I'll be riding a 54 Panhead. See ya.